And welcome back. Hey, how are you? How you feeling? I hope all is well. Hey, our last guests are veteran advocates for Veteran Action Now, and they join us to raise awareness on the need for a soldier cemetery restoration project and so much more. So please welcome to the show, Kevin C. Maggette and Joe Bello. Did I do it again?
Yeah. Thank you for having us, Dr. Bob
Welcome,
Lee.
welcome. Yeah, I heard you had a cousin on the Giants.
Yes, Dave Maggette.
Dave Maggette.
Sure.
All right. And you have a cousin out there too.
Yeah, somewhere.
Hey, listen, thank you for your service. You
Thank
guys
you.
are
I
Navy
appreciate
vets,
you.
right?
Thank you.
Yes,
Yeah.
both Navy,
Yeah.
both Gulf War veterans.
That's right.
Go for all right. Yeah. You know, we appreciate you guys and thank you so much for
I
being here.
appreciate you.
So you want to share some information about what we're working on right now? There's a cemetery that
Yes.
needs restoration. How did you get involved in becoming a part of this project?
Well, how I got involved is there was a gentleman that I always looked up to, a Marine veteran who has now transitioned, named Leroy Archibald, who brought attention to a veteran cemetery in the Bronx
Yeah.
that was just in a bad condition, and it needed restoration. He would try to take on the work by himself, and it was very hard for him to maintain. And when he transitioned, I said, well, I'm going to actually pick up where he left off.
Yeah.
However, no one should have to carry these bricks by themselves.
Yeah.
And considering that it's city-owned property, and the city is part of the state of New York, but those bodies in there are federal.
Yeah.
Why not have the state of New York and the federal government look into putting it on their registry and putting up signage? And because from my understanding, it can't be restored more than what it is.
What?
It just can't. It's preserved. That's why. So but you could make it look much more attractive.
Yeah,
And that's kind of our quest. So it went from me pointing fingers like how, this is unacceptable for veterans, to being educated on the fact that this was once upon a time private property that has now been taken over by the city, that the Parks Department is running.
The Parks Department is
runs
running the cemetery.
Correct. And they're doing the best they can
Yeah.
with the little that they have, because as you know, Mayor Adams cut so much from different agencies, and the Parks Department wasn't exempt from it.
Any of the elected officials helping out, like the borough president or any of
They're aware of it, so we're hoping to see at least some representatives or elected officials tomorrow at this event.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us more about the event.
So we're holding a press conference tomorrow at 1 o'clock to bring awareness to the condition, to basically also advocate and lobby for the mayor to increase funding to the Parks Department. The Parks Department was, when they did the budget, the last budget, it was one of the most significantly cut agencies. I think I read somewhere it was almost 800 lines, positions that were cut from that agency.
Yeah.
So, between Leroy transitioning and then COVID and then budget cuts, you can imagine this cemetery with, at least up to 40 veterans from Civil War, the Spanish-American War, and World War I.
Wow.
It's been neglected.
Yeah.
And the only reason or way it's getting even somewhat cleaned up by maybe taking the leaves out and things, has been through non-for-profits that are coming in and doing like a community job there. So
Is the gentleman that was taking care of it, the one, what's his name?
Leroy Archibald?
Leroy Archibald. Is he buried there?
No, he's I believe he's buried in Calverton.
yeah,
Calverton Cemetery.
yeah. The cemetery is full.
You can't
as far as,
bury anybody
nobody's
else.
going to be buried.
But
yeah.
it's a
It's
historic
historical.
site.
Yeah.
You have four different eras. Like Joe said, you have the War of 1812, Spanish-American War,
Wow. A lot of history.
Civil War.
and
World War
World War I. Thank you, Joe.
Wow.
And so we have to preserve that. But Veteran Action
They're
Now.
showing it right there.
Yeah.
So what does it need? I see some of the signs are dilapidated a little bit.
Definitely more signage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to the historical significance of the cemetery
Right.
definitely is something that's needed, more signage.
We definitely more signage. We need it can also use more awareness. I would love to see if we could somehow, some way partner with the Department of Education where they start to hold more field trips
Yeah.
and educate the kids of, our children of
And
the
it's a public
significance.
space.
It's
The
a
Parks
public
Department
space.
is operating
That's
it.
right.
Yeah.
So
And we need funding from the elected officials. Woodlawn Cemetery runs a workforce development program
yes, they do.
where
Yeah.
they actually train people on restoration and, within cemeteries and things like that. So we definitely want to see that program funded to
Yeah.
help
Can you
with
use
the
part of the
cemetery.
Woodlawn Cemetery budget?
No.
No, they're private.
Yeah.
We need to have more elected officials on a state and a federal level
Yeah.
actually look at this and say, how can we partner? How can the city, state, and federal government work together to make this?
Yeah. Who
To
would you like to
preserve this.
reach out to? Who do you think needs a phone call or?
Definitely as high up in the VA as we could go because they are veterans. So
Well, a lot of people watch us. We have a huge audience. Why don't you take one of these cameras and ask for what you want and tell people what you need?
okay, sure. So I believe that area is Congressman Richie Torres. Am I correct?
Yes.
That's his district. I would love to sit down with your office, as well as the city council person and the state assembly in that district. I don't know who they are, but I would love to reach out and sit down and figure this out and how we could perhaps get more government involved in this issue.
And I just want to also put out a direct appeal to the mayor and to his administration to, we are coming into November reconciliations for the city budget.
Yeah.
And we definitely would like to see amongst other groups that are advocating for parks, it's not just making it clear here, we talk about parks, most people think about playgrounds and parks, it's cemeteries as well. So we certainly are making an appeal to the mayor and his administration to put in the proper funding to the Parks Department so that this cemetery is not forgotten as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
You have any partners or people helping with the
Well,
restoration?
We have allies like NABVETS, local chapter 0029 in the Bronx, which I'm the commander of, by the way.
All right.
We have VFW, we have American Legion. The thing is, the veteran community in New York City is very fragmented. And what Veteran Action Now is trying to do is unify us, because I believe as long as we're fragmented, we start fighting amongst each other for resources that we don't have.
And we're actually doing that on the cemetery by educating, because you'd be surprised at how many veterans don't even know that this cemetery exists. And in the Bronx, not just in the other boroughs, but in the Bronx as well. So it is about education, saying, hey, look what's here. And that's where we're just talking about like some of the signages and things that are needed to, and getting it on the registry.
Get it on the registry, yes.
Of
Very
national
important.
significance.
Do you think it needs to come out from under the Parks Department, maybe?
That's a conversation we can have. I'm for whatever makes sense. Where the state that it's currently in, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So if maybe
Just put a new sign up there.
could be a new sign,
know.
but maybe the Parks Department could do more if they allotted and restored if the mayor restored this funding
Yeah.
back to them. And maybe there's more that they could do. I don't know.
I'm sure
We
they
just
can
got
reach down into their budget to put a sign
Sure.
up there that's just to start kick things off.
Sure.
Parks
would-
Department,
Yeah.
we need you. Let's
Yes,
go. These are our
absolutely.
veterans.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
This would be one way to thank them for their service over the years. This is a federal area.
And I appreciate that, because most
Yeah.
people don't. Most people thank us for our service twice a year.
Yeah.
Of course, Veterans Day, which
Veterans
is right around the corner, and
Memorial Day.
Memorial Day.
Memorial
But
Day.
truth of the matter is, unless you have a family member that's serving or served, but it becomes a coin phrase, and the thank you that we are receiving doesn't. The thank you
Yeah.
that's given to us it doesn't equate to the services in New York City that we're receiving. So,
Yeah.
you know, this talks to a bigger issue. Perhaps we could come back and discuss that one day as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. And get together with Asha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Asha's still here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She's a vet.
Asha had
Army
that,
vet.
yeah. Yeah.
Army expert.
She's got the inside scoop.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Listen, where can we go? You got anything up on the website or social media that people can go to follow? And
Not too much. It was just a press conference that we put out
For tomorrow
For tomorrow
at 1
Yeah,
o'clock.
1 o'clock, and the goal is to amplify our voice with the cemetery. But you know, underneath we have veterans in New York City and state have a plethora of problems that we need to rectify, and we hope that this can actually start speaking to bigger issues, because our veterans in New York City are leaving in droves.
well, you know, we're talking about veterans. We're not talking about just one branch, right? We're talking
No.
about Army,
Navy,
Yeah,
Marines,
every
right.
branch.
Yeah, so the branches should come together and be a part of this too.
Absolutely.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is
And
there
that's
any way
why
we can-
we're hoping that they will get a good turnout tomorrow. And again, then we can amplify that message. And then that begins the starting having those bigger conversations
Yeah.
about, you know, what more can the city be doing for
Mm.
veterans and their family members and Gold Star spouses and,
Yeah.
you know, as
Yes.
we move along.
Perfect. And even after the press conference, you'll have something posted where people can go to continue to
Absolutely.
contribute and be a part of.
Yes,
what's
and I
happening.
want to actually urge all veterans that are not registered with VA, please do so. It's very important.
Yeah. Hey, listen, thank you guys for coming and
Thank you.
come back and share more.
I appreciate
Absolutely.
you.
Success stories.
Thank you,
going,
my
right?
brother.
Thank you, man. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
All right, sit tight for a hot second. Joe Bello, Kevin C. Miguel. Now, we going to win or what?
I hope so. I believe we are. I believe we are.
Tell your cousin to get to it.
Yes, sir.
We're backing you guys.